You can't talk about sports anime without talking about what is arguably one of the most influential shows outside of anime, Initial D.
I like to get shit-faced.
Talk about sports anime.
Me.
I like to get...
Sword sheath, it's the return of the blade and slight shade, getting paid until my silhouette fades. A mercenary, spit till every verse is scary sage, doing girlies dirty, splitting with obituaries. Death is not a
Sports anime has really seen a jump in popularity recently. The popularity of Yuri on Ice makes that more than evident. But why is that? What is it that makes a good sports anime? These shows are rarely about just the sport, but the people behind them. Their motivations, their struggles are all real. All things that we can relate to. All things that make characters real. Initial D is one such sports anime that is an example of this. For the uninitiated... See what I did there?
I get it. Initial D.
Initial D is a street racing manga turned anime turned movie series turned arcade game that was initially serialized in 1995 by Young Magazine. Created by Shuichi Shigeno, he drew inspiration from the very real drift scene that took place in the mountains of Japan in the mid-90s. He went as far as to base his characters off of real people that he knew from these scenes. He was so involved, he even managed to have Kiichi Tsuchiya, or the man who invented drifting, cameo in the anime. The story follows high school boy Takumi Fujiwara, who delivers tofu in his dad's old AE86. It's basically a Toyota Corolla. He works at a local gas station with all his friends who are part of a street racing team called the Akina Speedstars. A rival team called the Red Suns challenges them to a downhill race to be the fastest in Gunma. And these boys are quick, with two C's. Knowing they can't win, they scramble to find a new driver. They end up approaching Takumi's dad, knowing he used to be a legend on these streets. He instead sends his son Takumi to the team's dismay. You see, Takumi hates driving, and he's only doing it because his dad's making him. But his dad promised him a full tank of gas so he could take out that cute chick in his high school. That's one way to get a high school boy to do something. The rest of the series is him coming to terms that he might like driving. It gives him purpose. What separates Initial D from something like The Fast and Furious is the realism of everything. You see, Fast and Furious was a movie about what everybody wanted the car scene to be like back in 2001. Initial D is a story about real people. Undercover cops driving Eclipses with underglow and going to meets with like scantily clad women is not real. Wanting to impress the older kids, going through your first breakup, worrying about what you're going to do after graduation, growing up is real. If that's not enough for you, there's also the fucking... Look, I know it's ridiculous. I know the 3D cars are silly, and I know the arcade game is basically the Super Smash Bros. Melee of racing games, but these are all things that make Initial D memorable. Compare this to something like One Gun Midnight, another street racing anime.
エンジン下にオイルを貯めるウェットサンプからオイルタンクを別に設けて圧力をかけて送るドライサンプ化にただしボディとエンジンの間にはたった1センチのストレス吸収剤しかない
なんだとやられたぜ
それでも踏んでいければ40ミリの低重心化と油圧の安定は必ず Z を劇的に変えるはず
言わんこっちゃねえスピードが乗りすぎてるぜ立て直して減速するスペースはもうねえ完成ドリフト
See the difference? Which one are you going to tell your friends about? Initial D has the distinction of getting people to cross interest, let's say. It got those who may not have been interested in cars into a scene they otherwise wouldn't have known about. And those who may not have been into anime. I mean, that's definitely the case with me. This anime played a big part in getting me into cars. Some of my best friends I've met through car culture. There's a reason you see so many Initial D influenced cars at car meets these days. Initial D is arguably responsible for an entire import scene, or the JDM scene. Initial D is one of the few anime that has had a real-life impact on the sport itself. Some Japanese tracks race by Initial D rules, and the popularity and prices of the 886 reflect this. For some, Initial D is just Japanese Fast and Furious, but it is so much more than that. It's growing up. It's buying your first hoopty. It's late night talks with friends. It's learning to cope with the loss of a loved one. It's being afraid to disappoint your parents. It's gathering up the courage to follow your dreams, and at the end of the day, that's what Initial D is really about. So what do you think? What sports anime got you into the sport?
Alright, my guy.
So what do you think? Is Initial D really as important as I think it is, or is it just some stupid cartoon about cars? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. I'm your boy Mike Dangerous, and this is Talking Shots.